Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story with Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 9, episode 3, and we've got to get it out there very early on. I think I panicked a bit too soon after the first day of the season. I mean, look at things now. We're up in second place, 4 points clear of 7th. We're looking quite nice there. We've already played first and third and picked up points. Today we're back for a big top of the table clash against Pompey, and we are starting to look like a side that can compete for the playoffs, and our tactical changes of work going forward for sure. So plenty of good news and positive signs as we move through the season, and we'll be hoping we can take them into today's game. It's a big one against Pompey. Chris Wilder down in League One managing them. Probably not gone quite as well as his career in real life, but either way it's going to be a really tough test for us. Pompey will of course have a bigger budget, bigger side, better players, bigger reputation, but we're still fighting on as little old Dorking Wanderers, playing away from home at Crawley, and we're still going to make it work somehow. So we'll look at our recent results, the end to the transfer window, which has of course played a key role in this as well as getting into that Pompey game in just a minute. But firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the series and the channel in general. A massive thanks to everyone who popped over yesterday too. We obviously had something a bit different, the first collaboration on the channel. I really enjoyed it. I know there were a few little technical issues with the audio, and those will be resolved as we go along of course. But for a first time trying something new, I thank you for your support, and I really had a great time doing it too. If it's something you'd like to see a bit more of, then obviously let us know down in the comments of that video and this one. Also, if you're interested in taking part, you want to be part of the fantasy draft series, then of course just give us a message, either on Twitter, on here, whatever it may be. If we can organise that, it's certainly something I'd like to do, so just let me know if you'd like to be involved. But either way, we're going to crack back into this Dorking save. Of course the head coach will be back tomorrow as normal as well. And for those who did watch the first leg of that fantasy draft series yesterday, don't forget at 7 PM this evening we'll have a double header over on the Honest Football Podcast channel. The second leg will be broadcast. It's a pretty well poised tie, and things are looking pretty close at the moment, so let me know who you think's going to win, and obviously make sure you pop over at 7, subscribe to the podcast and check that video out. And if you haven't already, of course, please put a thumbs up on this video. It does make such a difference to the channel performance. And subscribe for regular content from FM20, including more of those fantasy draft series, and of course a few more episodes from this one too. Hopefully we'll finish in the top 6 and we won't get sacked now this season. That was our big fear when we left off at the end of the last episode, but we are looking in much better shape now. We got a really good team. John Webb started scoring goals up front. Some really surprised big performers so far. So let's just go and look at the transfer window first. All of the key news, the big ones we want to see, and we've got a clause available to look at. Xavier Simon's the one I'm disappointed not to sell. Put in a transfer request. He's been a bit of a problem behind the scenes. But let's go and look at this Calvin Ramsey sell on. How much? Another 500 grand. I tell you what, I'd be interested in taking that. That would take our money for him up to about 1.5 million. So we got that money in. That is looking very good for us financially. We can start to work again. We'll be going back up to what we were at the start of the season. We can work on our training facilities. We can work on getting a new stadium. All of the things we've been wanting to do. We won't spend a transfer budget. We don't need to the way we're playing at the moment. But let's go and look at the deals that were actually done. There are some really good ones in here, and it's probably been the difference maker so far this season. So going out, unfortunately there wasn't anything more because Xavier Simons rejected his deal, but we did have 3 more coming into the club. 2 big loan players and 1 big signing, the biggest outward fee this season actually, and behind Calvin Ramsey the biggest fee we've ever paid out for a player. So Brendan Lindsay was the first on loan from Spurs, backup striker, backup on the 2 wings, 3-star ability, 5-star potential kid. He's just got quality across the board. You can see he's got a couple of assists already and a big impact on his debut for us, and he's the sort of player I think can be crucial to us, giving us extra strength in depth if we get an injury. The second one's arguably the most important despite being a less talented player. Ollie Robinson from Sunderland, £105,000, and he was Sunderland's first choice keeper at this level, and he's now our first choice keeper. 22 years of age, 3-star ability, more potential. He's an under-19 international for England in the past. He's our best paid player now, 2-year deal for him at the moment, but he started really well for us, our first choice keeper, better than Jonathan Mitchell, better than Harry Campbell as you can see, a natural at the sweeper keeper role which was crucial to us. So he looks like he's going to be a superstar, brilliant reflexes, making saves galore, only conceded 5 in 4 games at the moment, and he's starting to look like a superstar for us, and even his training performance is really good. He's a professional personality, he's just got everything you want. He's the sort of player that made us smile, and 105 grand is going to be no investment really. I'm sure we'll get double or triple that for him in the future. Either that or he'll lead us to promotion and stay, and either of those situations I'll be very happy with. And then finally of the signings, deadline day brought Alan Tordoff to the club. A brilliant one really. No transfer or wage contributions, just a free loan for us basically for the season. From Sheffield United, where we've obviously got history, we had John King there for a couple of years, but he's a natural right winger as an inside forward, very strong in central midfield if needed to, 3-star ability, 4-star potential, turned up on his debut and banged in 2 goals. He has been an absolute revelation since he joined. Wonderful player, looks a superstar. At 22, another England under-19 international, and I've no idea why Sheffield United are giving him away for free. What's his wage at the actual club? He's on 15 grand a week there, and they've not asked for anything whatsoever. Got a really good personality, some fantastic player traits, loves to get forward, loves to cut inside, tries to play 1-2s to get in one-on-one, and he's been a revelation for us so far, so I'm hoping we'll see a bit more of him today. But they're the signings, they've made a big difference. Let me know down in the comments what you think of them, of course. I think they've been brilliant, and I'm sure you will too. But obviously if we see them in action today and they flop, then of course you'll probably change your mind a bit. But let's go and have a look at the schedule, see all those recent results, and it's a sea of green. Just a couple of oranges and reds in there. But after that disappointment at home to Tranmere on the first day, it's fair to say we were quite a bit worried actually. But a brilliant away performance against Plymouth, and then all those signings coming in have quickly eradicated any fears I had. So let's run you through these key results quickly, just so you can see where the key men made an impression. Away to Plymouth, it was Holcroft, Jackson and Webb. Quite interesting actually in that game. You remember the first one in the last episode? We took off Holcroft and Jackson. We brought on Williams and McLaughlin, who made an impact. So in this midweek game, I started those two. They performed awfully from the start. Then we brought on in their place Holcroft and Jackson, who were dropped from the game before, and they changed the game and won it for us. So it looked like it was just substitutes at the ready. John Webb with a late penalty to get off the mark for the club. That was crucial early on in his spell as a striker, and I think he's going to go from strength to strength now. You've seen already he scored a few goals. So a 3-1 win at home to Charlton followed. Jackson, Wilson and Colcroft in the first half, and a consolation for Charlton late on, but it was comfortable all the way, and the lads performed really well across the board there. But then a defeat against Cardiff in the Carabao Cup. Chem Campbell, a former hero in our other series, he was at Charlton, was he, and the head coach did a really good job for us there. But in this one he was sealing a victory for Cardiff in the Carabao Cup, as our reserve side just couldn't compete across the board, and unfortunately that was our first defeat of the season. But a 2-2 draw away to Wimbledon was decent next, although we were packed back late on by an equaliser, before a 2-0 win at Coventry with John Webb getting another, Matt Everett off the mark for the season there, and then a following 2-1 win at home to Rotherham, side who are currently right up the top of the league of course. We talked about them and Sunderland, we've played both of them already, and Rotherham we got a good victory against. John Webb in the first minute cancelled out immediately, but Holcroft early in the second half with a winner, before our only league defeat of the season at home to Bolton. They were the better side, Ronan Darcy scored a screamer, otherwise it was a solid game, and you can see our best player was Ollie Robinson, the new signing, which shows just how good he is in goal for us. Then into September, it's been brilliant so far, a 3-1 win by our reserves in the Leasing.com trophy, and that's where the likes of James Williams and Manny Cook can shine now. No real responsibilities in the league whatsoever, and they've come in and scored a couple of goals there, and that's made such an impact for us in that competition. We of course got to the quarters last year. We would like to go on a run to Wembley and win something. It's something we haven't managed to do too often this year. We obviously only sealed one of our promotions as champions, so that was a little bit unique. We got the playoffs in the National League, and then third place was it in League 2? Was it playoffs in League 2 as well? I can't even remember. How far back's that? That's really bad of us, but we definitely didn't win it. So either way, we'd only won one trophy so far, and we'd really like to add to that in this series. Then a 4-2 win as the goal started flying in September. That one away from home against Lincoln, and it was Tordoff's debut where he scored that brilliant brace. Everett and John Webb with one apiece as well. And you have to say, John Webb's looked better since we've signed Tordoff too. But away to Sunderland, a good draw. Luke Thomas with a late equaliser. We were piling on the pressure towards the end of that one. And then a big 4-1 win at home to Blackpool. John Webb with a hat-trick including a penalty. Stephen Mole scoring a cracker as well. And it was a brilliant first half. 3 goals in 3 minutes there. But we did come out on top pretty comfortably. Then finally we played Southend last time out. Bottom of the league, and Connor Jackson saved the day off the bench. It was one of our most dominant displays of the season, but we just couldn't get the goal. But Connor Jackson there, been a really good player for us this season despite being relatively limited in ability, and he's been training well and improving as well. 4 goals and 2 assists for him already. So lots to get through there, and of course we are back slightly later than planned, but it's a big top of the table clash. We just had to keep on the roll we were going through, and of course we've just picked up 500 grand there for Calvin Ramsey. We'd sold him for $1 million, was it? I'm sure it was at the start of the season. So 1.5 million we've bought in for him now, and overall that almost makes him a record sale, just behind Matt Smith, who we've got one more deal to come for. Is he playing for Middlesbrough now? Not really, so maybe we should take that money money. He's barely playing a game for them. He's never going to make 38 more. So Matt Smith will take that money as well. Big news today. Lots of money coming into the club. That's nearly 200 grand as well. And that's for a clause that was never going to be met. So very happy days for that one. But with the dynamics looking good, everything's good on and off the pitch. The boardroom's good. The finances are good. It's just all going very well suddenly. So after that panic from the first game of the season, we're very much relaxed now. So let's head into this big game against Pompey today and see if we can keep the good ball rolling. More good news here. Ollie Robinson fit the keeper. He had missed one game. Jonathan Mitchell in goal in midweek against Southend. He kept a clean sheet. It's hardly a disaster. But we are slight favourites for this game. Almost a sellout over at Crawley for our home ground at the moment. And we've got a referee who's been fairly lenient this season. So that should suit us down to the ground. So let's switch the keepers over. Jonathan Mitchell back out. Possibly a bit harsh on him. But he's an experienced pro and he's doing really well for us now. Aside from that, I think I'll keep the 11 the same. Everyone really contributed well in the last one. And off the bench, we've got loads of game changers if we need it, so I don't see any need for us to change the squad at all. Of course, let me know if you disagree, but to be honest, I think this is our first 11 for the season. So it's Robinson in goal, the new keeper, Saxon and Thomas the fullbacks, with Walker and Grant Parsons at centre-half. Thomas still in the more attacking duty at left-back, Saxon protected so we can get Moles further forward. He's the box-to-box midfielder alongside playmaker Matthew Smith, Tordoff in on the right wing, Holcroft in behind Webb up front, and Matt Everett over on the left, of course. He's in a really bit of good form at the moment. Still got the likes of McLaughlin, Lindsay, Jackson on the bench. So many attacking game changers. And then if we need to shore it up, the likes of Niall, John, Joe Wilson and Shane Thompson too. Most of those been playing really well in a leasing.com trophy, so I've got no hesitation in bringing them on. But a really good lineup, a really good formation. We're going positive. We're sort of doing what we did towards the end of the Tranmere game. We're going for shorter passing, keeping that tempo up, not trying to focus the play anywhere in particular. We're distributing it quickly, trying to prevent the distribution from their keeper, just trying to force mistakes basically, and hopefully that'll pay dividends as we go along. So let's get into this Pompey game and see if we can make it another win for us. Well, this is where I do have a little bit of fear. Lots of teams starting to play the back three against us, and we've struggled a little bit more. There's a name I recognise there in Anthony Ralston, and I can't remember where it's from. Was it Torquay last year? I think we briefly had him at Torquay. Maybe Brockbank as well. I recognise that name too. It's all starting to go a little bit now. Rankin Costello, he's a really good player. I've had him in previous series too. What a fantastic squad they've got. They're definitely going to be up there this year. So we're going to ask the lads to take revenge for last season, just as Nick Haycock continues to recommend stably, and hopefully as we go and get into the first half, we'll be able to perform as we have been recently. Throw on the left hand side for Luke Thomas, 10 minutes in already. Holcroft picking it up for Thomas again. Here he is on the left, chance to get a cross in, beats one, back to Matthew Smith on the edge. Moles with a chance, loves a shot. What a ball that is to Tordoff. He's missed this one, he's normally so reliable there, but that was wonderful play from Moles. Matthew Smith with a corner, the pressure's still on. Moles header saved by Barrett, straight at him, either side it was probably a goal, but it's been a really good start to the game for us. Barrett with a goal kick, we've not seen the end of the highlight. I've no idea what John Webb's doing up there, but the ball's cleared and only finds Matthew Smith, and he's given away possession on halfway. Ralston coming forward, we mentioned in pre-match, into the box unopposed, good save by Robinson, safe hands, it didn't have quite enough on it, but he did well to hold it and keep it at bay. 15 gone, it's still 0-0, but we've been the dominant side so far, and that's all we want to see as the season goes on, just to try and get on top in every game. But here's Portsmouth coming forward with Ralston again. Walker heads away really well though. Luke Thomas to the right hand side, Tordoff's there, beats one to Holcroft, really clever play from the number 10, into John Webb, 1-on-1, good save Barrett to tip it behind. Matthew Smith with an outstinging corner as a result though, headed away but only as far as Jack Walker, the centre half. Chance to go wide but it's intercepted, cleared long downfield but dealt with easily, and with 25 gone we're still very much on top, but we really need to try and find a breakthrough here. And here's Saxon with a chance to deliver that. Over on the right playing a 1-2 with Holcroft, get the ball in the box, there's 3 in there, Webb's one of them with a header, brilliant save from Barrett, tipped it onto the woodwork I think. It may have just hit it directly but it looked like the keeper got a hand there, and his match rating would suggest he made the save. He's keeping us at bay pretty much single-handedly. Half time then, somehow goalless here at Crawley Stadium. Dorking Wanderers completely on top. You can see why we've been doing so well this year. Maybe not as many clear-cut chances as we have in previous matches. We're just going to get the lads motivated again straight into the second half. And I'm a bit worried that we've got to throw in this deep on the pitch. Hopefully we won't concede possession here. Here's Moles on the middle of the pitch. Out to Tordoff on the right. Not the best sentence in the world, that. Howard Webb, I'm getting mixed up with a podcast here. John Webb, sorry, back to the right back. Tordoff has his ball taken off him. Back to the centre centre half for Pompey, and unfortunately it's looking a little bit dicey at the moment. Portsmouth turning it into a scrap, probably exactly what they want at this stage. Togwell goes long, Thomas intercepts, really good play from the left back there, and Everett's got a chance to come forward again. Let's see if he can take the man on down the left. Here is Everett, got the support of Thomas, chance to deliver, can he get it in? Back to Smith there, bit of a strange choice, but it's a good ball, just over with a speculative effort, worth a go, but it's over the bar, and it still remains 0-0 here somehow. Back with Pompey on the left-hand side, Clamping picking the ball up for them. Back to Thompson, they're just keeping it nicely here, trying to get a bit of a foothold in this game. Back to Barrett, and I'm sure they'll work from the back again. Things looking fairly comfortable at the moment. We're not really pressing them high enough up the pitch, though Everett's nicked that from a poor clearance. 3-on-4 to momentarily. Pompey flying to get men back there. Everett to the byline, crosses blocked, only as far as Luke Thomas on the left. Delivers to the back post. Mole's header in via the keeper. He's been brilliant all game, but he should have saved that. We're delighted he didn't, but that's a little bit of a lifeline for us, thoroughly deserved, but that's not the way we really wanted to take the lead. But the box-to-box midfielder making that deep run, getting in there from the left-back's cross, and that's exactly how we wanted this tactic to work, and I'm delighted that both of those men have contributed. We've got just over 20 to go, so we will make our first subs. John Webb, it says, has picked up a knock, but it's only a bruise, and he's got really good condition, so I'm going to take off Tordoff, who's ironically had a poor game. Brendan Lindsay will come on for him, or in fact, no, we'll bring on Connor Jackson. He's been making a difference off the bench, so I've got to give him the chance. He comes on the right wing, and we'll save the other two for another 20 minutes, and we'll of course bring them on if we need them later. Or just over 10 to go, nothing's really happening, so we've paused to take off Matt Everett. Lindsay will come on for him. On the left-hand side, what does he like to do? Winger on support, that's fine. Maybe on an attacking duty as the man on the right isn't. Or do we just hold on, keep our shape, try and protect this 1-0 lead? I think we're going to edge for that at the moment, just to try and get back to the top of the tile. Here's Luke Thomas at left back. Chance to move forward down the wing. He's got a couple to take on, but goes down the line. Lindsay the substitute there at the byline. Can he deliver? To Moles again. Oh, almost the same combination as the first goal. The cross from the left wing, finding Stefan Moles, but this one just over the bar. If he tested the keeper, it might well have gone in, but a chance from Jackson's free kick. Parsons heads over this time. His chances galore from crosses into the box, whether it's set pieces or open play. Both of them working really effectively here. And we've got one more change to make up top here, so I'm pondering who to take off and bring on. I think it's got to be John Webb. He's not had the best game. That means Lindsay up front. He's natural as an advanced forward anyway. Over to the left goes Harvey Holcroft. Peter McLaughlin comes on as the number 10. He's an advanced playmaker on attack. Then on the left wing, Holcroft goes as an inverted winger. He prefers to be on a support or attack duty, so we'll leave him on support now to keep our stability. 5 minutes added on. Can Luke Thomas wrap it up? Oh, what a free kick that is! Luke Thomas from an impossible angle. He went for the far post. I've never seen one in this year's game. Every free kick I've seen has gone in at the keeper's near side, overbent via the wall, but that one flew into the far corner. Luke Thomas, what a free kick. Unbelievable stuff. And it's wrapped up the tie, avoided the time wasting as Jackson's coming on the counter again. Can we make it 3? Lindsay's up there, been challenged well, but he's given a free kick. That wasn't late. Is he going to give a red card? The commentary's not good there. He's given a red. That looked like a good challenge to me. I've no idea why that's happened. It just looked like he challenged him, put it out for a throw. But alas, it is a red card into the box. Parsons' header tipped over the bar. And we've certainly been given some lifelines from the ref here. We did not deserve that. But a corner from the right-hand side. Matthew Smith to deliver. Into the back post. Lindsay there. Makes it 3. His first goal for the club. Brilliant work from him. Already had a couple of assists to his name. We put him up front and he gets a goal. And that is a comprehensive victory, which is well deserved. I mean, look at the stats. We have found a winning formula here, and I'm starting to feel a bit invincible with this side, so we're going to say we're very pleased with the lads, and you can't be surprised that they look absolutely delighted. It takes us top of the pile. This is a far cry from the last episode. The smile's back, the performance is back, and we are looking like promotion contenders. Let's go and have a look and see what was said about the game. They can't say anything else than dominance. We're top of League One, they're focusing on that. What a fantastic performance. 3 to 8 days for John Webb. He'll miss one game, I think. Is there a midweek one? Yes, so he'll definitely miss the Oxford game, might be back for Carlisle, but I guess with Lindsay making that impact off the bench, it doesn't really matter so much now. Luke Thomas was brilliant from left back, getting forward, marauding down the touchline, and that all in all has been a wonderful episode. Good off the pitch, good on the pitch, brilliant performances and top of the league. You could not ask for much more at the moment, so Championship, here we come. So plenty of excitement in the air here. Let's go and look at the schedule to see when we might next be back. I'll try and leave it a little while again as we're getting on a bit of a roll, so I've got a couple of ideas in mind mind here. Either the start of November, if we get a good FA Cup tie, that and the West Ham game as we finish the leasing.com trophy group. Otherwise, we'll leave it to the end of November. Ipswich, a fairly big game. They're up in 4th place. Doncaster near the bottom. That's not worth it. So probably that Ipswich game. I think that's the most likely at the moment. But of course, we'll see as the season goes on. Things could go very wrong between now and then. We were really upset in the last episode about 6 weeks ago, thinking that things were going to be awful this season. So it could turn around as quickly as that again. You never know. We can't get too excited yet. But I am very excited about the tactic, the way we're playing, the fluency, the style. Everything looks fantastic at the moment. And I'm certainly enjoying watching us play again. And hopefully you'll enjoy the entertainment as much. But if you did enjoy this episode and that comprehensive performance against Pompey, we've got to finish on the league table, haven't we? Please do put a thumbs up on the video. It makes such a difference and I do appreciate your continued support, particularly at this difficult time. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the late window signings, of course. All three made a massive impact, as you can see. Tordoff didn't have his best game today, but Robinson a good save or two. Lindsay off the bench with goals. You can see why they're all going to be successful this season. And we've gone top of the league as a result. Things looking really good for us now. So let me know where you think we're going to finish. I'm sure the top 6 is manageable this year, but could we even push further? I know they're big name sides, the likes of Pompey, Ipswich, Sunderland, but of course we're still playing away from home. We've got a little bit of money in the bank now, and if we can invest off the pitch and go up to the Championship, things could start to escalate pretty quickly from here. And top of the leasing.com trophy group as well. I'd love to go on a little run to Wembley this year, but of course that's definitely going to be on the back burner, and we'll still be playing our backup team for now onwards. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content. We'll of course have our 2 long-term stories continuing. Probably most weeks on a Sunday now we'll try and get in one of those FM Versus series. Fantasy draft against collaborators, creators, other people on the channel. So if you want to be a part of it, do let me know. Of course I'm really excited about that as well. And I can't thank you enough for following the first one yesterday. And make sure you check out the second leg this evening. It's finally poised. Can I do it? Will I lose my reputation on my first game with another creator? Make sure you head over to the Honest Football Podcast at 7 o'clock, where that episode will be released later this evening. If you're watching this later on after this is released, of course, then obviously go back and watch it to find out. But of course the tie's on a knife edge, so hopefully I'll be able to come out on top, and we'll find out about that later on today. We've also got a couple of other mini-series coming out, both on this channel and the podcast one in the coming weeks. We're trying to get as much content out as possible. We know it's a particularly boring time for football fans and sport fans generally, so we're trying to fill that void, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the things we've got planned. But a massive thanks for watching and following along as always. I really do appreciate your continued support, and we'll be back tomorrow with the head coach before this one in 2 days' time, so hopefully you'll come and join me for those as well.